Hey everybody, I wanted to do a quick video on how to use Soundtrap to actually do the demo process. We talked about why the demo is important and how it can be a good learning tool, but I also just want to show you how we do the editing in Soundtrap. And I also wanted to do this on just a Chromebook to show you guys that you don't need expensive gear, that you don't need expensive software to make a good sounding demo. So all of this audio that I have recorded in here, I did with the Chromebook. And I want to show you how I did that and how I set that up. There's a few things that really help out. So the first thing here is you're going to set up your metronome and make sure it's the right tempo for your song. So you want to click that on right here. And then over tempo, if you know the tempo, you can type it in. If you don't, you can tap it in. Mine is sitting right at 73. The other thing that's really important is when you make a new track, you get all these options. If you're recording from a microphone, so this is any microphone, it doesn't matter what you're putting into it, whether you're singing or playing guitar or ukulele, you're going to use this voice and microphones one. All the other ones are synthesized instruments. So for the rest of these, you would need a MIDI keyboard or some other controller to really access these. So we're going to make a new microphone track. And the most important button here is this little guy right here. So if you click this is the volume check. And if you hit start test, it's going to listen to the volume level and it's going to set it to the right level for your recording. So there's a few things that you can do to make sure that your recording comes out as clean as possible. This is a huge one. The other things you want to do are make sure that you are in a quiet as room as possible, that is not going to have any interruptions, and that the microphone is as close to you as is comfortable. So when I recorded this, I had the Chromebook microphone that's just right next to the webcam, just about 6 inches away from my guitar. So if you can get it closer and have the mic a little bit quieter, which the volume check will do for you automatically, you're going to pick up less ambient noise, which is what we want. So I like doing this when I have a guitar track, and this is all guitar. I like doing this where I have 2 different copies of the same thing running in parallel. And I want to zoom in here. I was running into this thing where when I recorded, it was a little bit off of tempo. So I'm going to cut this first block out is a mistake. So I'm going to cut this up. This is actually my first start of this. I'm going to zoom in here. If I play this with a metronome, you hear it's not clicking to the metronome, and we can actually see it, right? There's this little stop here. So if I want to get this out, if that happens to you, this button up here, snap to grid, is going to let us slide that forward. We can see where that is, and we slide it forward. And at that point, we can snap the grid back on. Basically, what the grid does is it is going to it wants to set things in these chunks, right? And these are probably 8th notes or 16th notes. There's some sort of musical distance. But for this, if this was just input lag, that's not going to be at a musical distance. We just want to clear that out. So snap to grid gets rid of that, and you can make edits on a perfect gradient. Okay? So now when we listen with the metronome, it makes sense. It's good. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this down to the second row, and I'm going to copy and paste it, actually. So this is something that's interesting with Soundtrap. So the paste goes right after the purple marker. So I'm going to paste it there, and I'm going to drag it up here. And why I'm doing this is because this is the same thing played twice. And what I want is 2 different sections of it overlapping. So I'm going to cut it down like this, cut this one down the same way. And this is my intro. What I want to do is I'm going to spread these in either ear. So we're going to use pan. So to pull up this menu, we're going to go to this guy, the show instrument. Panning is what side of the stereo field are we hearing this? So if I take this all the way to this way, we're going to hear it out of this ear. If I take it all the way this way, I'm going to hear it out of this ear. So I'm going to put one all the way to one ear. It doesn't matter which one. And I'm going to put this one all the way to the other. And this sounds like... right? Very nice. So that's the process of how I clean up these guitar tracks and get them going. You might also notice that all my sections are kind of chunked out. So this is the intro, this is the verse, this is the pre-chorus, this is the chorus. And I recommend you guys do this because so you can absolutely play your song all the way through, and that's totally great. But when I'm demoing, I like to focus just section per section so that if I make a mistake a few minutes into the song, I don't feel like I have to like restart everything. So it's quicker to move if I'm just focusing, play the verse correctly, play the chorus correctly, and then we'll splice them together. If this was something that we were going to put out and publish, we would probably approach it differently. But again, this is a demo, so the important part is getting our musical ideas across, not making a perfect recording. So let me clean up this one more time for you guys. Going to do it real quick. So the first thing we got to do is we are going to zoom way in and cut off that input lag. Drag it up to the front, and we can turn our snap back on. That sounds good to me. At this point, we can bring it up to this one. And then we're gonna find where this part repeats. So in my song, so that is the new section. So I'm gonna pull this down here, zoom out, copy it, move my purple marker, make that copy, pull it up here, and then I know I want to, actually we'll make it a little further out. So this one, I'm gonna pull out all the way to here. This one, I'm gonna pull all the way back. Oops, let's see how that transition works. So you can hear there's a little bit of a gap, but it's not a problem. And I gotta say, this sounds fantastic for being recorded on a Chromebook microphone. So I'm really impressed at the type of fidelity you can get out of just a basic Chromebook. And I hope seeing a little bit of this editing process and where the buttons are kind of helps you guys find how you're going to start into making your demo and actually recording it. You know, there's a lot that you can do after the fact. So if I wanted to go in and adjust the level, I would do that with the volume. If I wanted to make it sound like a bigger room, I could do that with this. There's all sorts of presets that you can play with if you want to. There's a lot to explore in here, but I think just knowing where those few basic buttons are is really important, so I wanted to get you showing those. So good luck on your demos. I hope this video was helpful, and I will see you in the next video.